YouTube, so I've got my rod here. What we're going to do is we're going to do a little dragon scale pattern on it, and I'm just going to show you a small portion right here where I'm going to put the hook keeper. I don't typically do big runs of dragon scale, but sometimes I do. It depends on what the customer wants, but this one it's not going to be, the customer's not into flashy, so we're not going to make it flashy. We're just going to do a small little short run of dragon scale. Maybe, you know, couple inches where I'm going to put the hook keeper, and then I might do a little portion on various parts of the label, and maybe the first guide might get some dragon scale. But I'm just going to show you how I very much cheat with my dragon scale. Now you can lay this thing out and mark it and put individual size D thread on there to get the dragon scale effect you want, and it works, but it's extremely time consuming, and quite frankly, to be honest with you, I don't have that kind of patience. So what do? I use sheetrock tape. This is self-adhesive mesh sheetrock tape made by a company called Fiba-Tape. You buy this at any home center. This makes some very nice dragon scale. So this is what I use, just because I'm impatient and I'm lazy. So really it's very, very simple. Let me see, the only problem with this tape is it's hard to find the ends. I recommend that when you finally cut your tape off that you mark the end somehow so you can find it again. Okay, there, I found my end. So what I do, I take a length of tape off. It's very simple. Take a scissors, cut it off. That's more than I need, but that's what I'm going to do. Try not to handle it too terribly much. And once I've got the tape, once I've got the tape to the length that I need, then I take and I cut approximately a 45-degree angle on the end of the tape. This is not mission critical. It works out as, you know, just roughly a 45-degree angle on the cut. Then I take and I put it where I'm going to start it. So I'm going to put this one here where the hook keeper is going to start, and I'm going to let the adhesive backing do its job, and I'm just going to stick it on here, being very careful not to pull too hard on it. Now, what I do here now is I take, and this is where you come back and start wrapping over across the other tape. So obviously we don't need all of this here. So I'm going to cut it. I'm going to take my little scissors and I'm going to cut it here, and I'm just going to cut it down each and every one of these until I get a good start on it. Then let me grab a new razor blade, and it helps immensely if you've got a new sharp razor blade to do this. It makes things go a whole lot easier. So let me unpackage a new razor blade here. So here's my cuts, and I just go right down the line and continue cutting them, staying on the same line as my first few cuts. There we go. Done. Discard this. Don't need it, or you can keep it and you can use it for the next one, but I just discard it. This stuff is so inexpensive it doesn't matter. And then it's just a matter of continuing on, and this stuff is pretty neat. If you move it, you can shift it around, and I line it up on the last set of threads, and you can see it doesn't perfectly line up, but that's okay. It won't show up unless you're looking really, really close. Like I said, this is a quick, easy way to do dragon scale. A lot of people do it like this. So I'm done. That's as much as I want to do. Okay, push it down really hard. Actually, I got too much on there. I don't want that much. So now what I do is I take my razor blade and I just roll the rod around and I cut it off. Make Makes a nice clean line. And there it is, done. That's all there is to it. Now I take my metallic thread, and I always wrap dragon scale in metallic, and I'll just wrap over it. Now you've got to be careful here on the ends, because when you're wrapping, it may want to try and lift the sheetrock tape there. So I'm going to wrap this in brown, because that's the kind of colors this guy likes. He's kind of earthy toned, outdoorsy, you know, like a lot of us. So then I'll start wrapping. Get my wrap started here. Well, that didn't go well. Try it again. All kinds of things happen when it's live TV, folks. You never know if you're going to make a mistake or not, and I just did, but there, it's easy to fix. I caught it right away. So, there we go. Got my wrap started. Trim off my tag end. And just start wrapping. You may have noticed I don't use a power wrapper. That's on purpose. I like to do it by hand. And as you wrap, you can see sometimes the tape starts to lift off a little bit. That's just pack it back down with your fingers and just go to town. I'm going to set my tension a little tighter here. And there you see, and there you have dragon scale. See if I can get a little zoom in on here. And there it is. It's exactly the effect you're looking for. It's quick, it's simple. You avoid the layout. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But it's pretty doggone good for a very simple, effective way to put some decorative wrap on. This is about as decorative as I get. Maybe do some chevrons and stuff like that, but I'm not real into glitzy. I prefer functional over fashionable, I guess, if you will. And so I just try to focus personally on making a good quality rod that looks nice. And this is just a nice way to give your custom build a little bit of flash. So let's hurry up and just get this on here. This, I will admit, would be where a power wrapper would be nice to have. But like I said before, I don't do big long runs of decorative stuff, dragon scale or otherwise. So I can finger a few of these and turn the rod around, and it's not a big deal. You can see I hold quite a pretty good angle on there on my thread angle here. That really seems to help a lot, keeping these threads tight. Now let's insert my finishing loop. Now, we've gotten to this point. Now I take my razor blade again and I cut off the first sections of this dragon scale. I don't ever run it right up to the winding check, and that's simply because that tape will sometimes extrude itself out of the wrap, and then you'll end up with little blue fuzzies, which does not look nice. And they're hard to manage. So there I've got them all cut. And I'll just peel them away. like so. There. Now we'll just finish it off. Right. Got that one little blue one left in there. He's being stubborn, doesn't want to come off, so let's just get him out of there. There, we got him. Okay. Let's just finish it off. Run it right up to the winding check. Put a good bit of pressure on there. And there it is. Finger on it. Captive my spool. Cut. Feed. Pull my finishing loop. Trim it short. Pull it through and it's a done deal. And there we have dragon scale. So that's the way I do dragon scale. That's the way I prefer to do it. Like I said, simply because I'm lazy, and that's the way I like to do it, and it makes a very nice effect. Then I just take my burnishing tool, eliminate any gaps here, and then you get that extra little bit of flash. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount a hook keeper on here. In fact, you know what the heck, I'll just put the little gem on right now. I wasn't going to do this, but what the heck, I'll just do it. So I always put the hook keeper on the bottom side of the rod, take a little tape, set my hook keeper in place. Alright, let's try this again. Get my trim band material. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Give it a snip. A little bit of a tug to get it out of there. Okay, I've got a little gap there that I can see some silver, so I'm going to move it over. There, we got it. Double wrapping over threads, metallic threads, is sometimes a little tricky, but it's a nice effect. Okay, now take my silver, give it 1, 2 wraps for a trim band. You've seen me do my trim bands in my earlier videos. So if you want to see how I did that, if you're watching for the first time and you want to see how I did that, go back into my videos and look at one of my earlier videos on how to do trim bands. And there we go. Turn that off. And we got a very nice, effective dragon scale. Finishing loop. And we're done. A little piece of tape so my metallic thread doesn't unwind. And there it is. Pull my finishing loop tight. Trim. And pull through. Done. And there it is. Dragon scales. Got a trim band in there. And I got a hook keeper, and that's going to be the hook keeper. And I'll do the other side later. I'll do that one off camera. No need to sense in you watching me do that as well. But that's how I do dragon scale, folks. Very, very simple, very, very effective. It works easy. Takes a fraction of the time of doing the layout, and you get a very nice, nice flashy pattern on there without being too overly intrusive. It's just a very nice, classy way to get some additional flash into your rod build. For comments, please leave them in the comments below, and we will and subscribe, and we'll keep trying to make some videos here. Hopefully these are helping you guys out. This is probably more geared towards the newer rod builders out there, because guys who've been doing this for a while have obviously seen these things before, but it's just how I do stuff. It'll give you some ideas on where to proceed. So like I say, got any questions, comments, concerns, please leave comments in the comment box below, and have a good day. Thank you.